What's up guys, we have a massive Cypher buff that just landed on PBE, and that's for all any players that can access it. And while I can't access it, fortunately some of my viewers do, and they have sent me pics, and we're gonna go over everything as well as what it means for Cypher. And there's quite a few of buffs here. There's no nerfs, only buffs, and there's also a possible fix on the Prowler for triggering tripwires. We're gonna talk about that in a bit. But starting with Cypher, we're gonna go through everything from top to bottom, explain it, and theorize a bit. And then when it lands in EU, I'm gonna be streaming Cypher from the moment the patch goes live in EU until I no longer can. When I get tired, I don't know, but it's gonna be the whole day. So starting here with the Trapwire, maximum Trapwire length increased from 1000 to 1500 in whatever units they use to measure. In your imagination, it might be difficult to realize how big of a buff this is, but this is effectively just increasing by half of the length, which is huge. Let me show you some examples here. This is from Queen Vicky that sent this to me yesterday. Just look at this, from there to there. Normally Cypher would be able to do the third step there, or fourth one if you put it a bit further out. Maybe if actually it's the third one, but anyways, this is huge. Look at that. Nobody's gonna place the trapwire here for the choke point, but it shows you the length and it opens up a ton of new spots. Then we have this one on fracture. If you want to play in tower, way easier than before, way easier, more what's it called, patterns, as Wright says. There's more options, and it will all depend on your positioning at the end of the day. So for example, if you want to use these wires here, you can be positioned there in canteen, but it's very easy to flash you out with a nade, and instead you would be able to play in tower, or you can play by spawn over there. There's a lot more room now to change up how you play. And this means that there's setups for all maps, including split, that I will just redo. Well, not really redo, I will explore everything, and I will make updated setups for all maps, all sites, everywhere on day one. Now here from Flicka, their friend sent them this. So this tripwire, while it might look crazy, it is not that much of a difference from using a trapwire that is placed there and goes up here. That's the original Pinata tripwire with one here. So again, it shows the length, but this is not going to change anything in terms of bind window. Instead, it opens up inside of hookah. It opens up the sand traps on site, and there's again a huge amount of variety now that you can use. And keep in mind, there's trapwires you can place up there now that goes out into the window. You can place trapwires up here that go into the sand. A lot of new creative stuff. But we're gonna look at everything once you have access. Here's from Pearl, B site. A site, pretty, compact of a site, so there's no super new stuff there that they probably saw, but I'm gonna explore literally every point of every map. So here, you can place one on the corner there, and it attaches over there. And this is good to deny the long plant. But wait, there's more. Here, look at this. That can finally be trapped before the barriers go down. You no longer have to do some wacky setup and trap there and trap here and basically leave this open. And you can do this now. And you can do that on Icebox too. That means massive setups on Icebox, finally. Fracture, Icebox, Pearl, Breeze, all these maps with open spaces that many of you have been struggling with and asking me for tips in streams. Man, that is huge of a buff. And that's just a big start. That's the first point. Alright, so next one. Neural Theft now reveals enemies 2 times, and there's a 4-second delay between the reveals. Time restriction to cast on enemy corpses has been removed, and maximum cast distance increased from 1200 to 1800. Again, huge. What does this first one mean? Well, this means that if you want to bait out enemies, you can. If you want to chase enemies, you can do that much easier than before. And well, same with baiting. And your teammates gain gain the advantage as well here. Like, it's very useful for your teammates too, but above all for you as Cypher, because now if enemies are fake defusing and there's a corpse laying around the corner that you can use, well, you just use it and you'll see. Because if you do that before they start the defusing, then it will trigger again before the defuse finishes, because it's 7 seconds. And yeah, if there's enemies that are running away, now you'll see if they're continuing to run or if they're faking. Because sometimes players would, including me, for example, versus enemy Cyphers, I would fake where I'm going. I would wield a different weapon so that it looks like I have a pistol on. Maybe I don't have any good buy, and I'm running to a different location than they expect, and then I turn around, pull out my Vandal, and bam, kill them. But now, yeah, you have to think about that 4-second delay, and it can mess up things for the enemies. So yeah, get out there, be aggressive. It's a good day to be aggressive as Cypher, or a good day to punish aggressive enemies. This is going to be very, very, very bad for aggressive enemies, especially these duelist players that just keep on rushing at the beginning of the round, because now also there's no time restriction. You can get a kill in the first second, bam, and then in the last 10 seconds, you go and activate it. There's no pressure to go and ult on people. So sometimes you've seen me use a cage and then ulti for protection. You don't need that as much now. You might still need it sometimes, like if you're in the open, like on Breeze or Icebox, but in general, you don't need it as much. So you can, that means you also save one cage. Your economy is a bit more stronger now than before. And you have a much longer distance. Now increased by by 50% as well. Look at this. Here's an example from Queen Vicky. Another one that she sent in. Here.
One enemy remaining.
Look at that distance. Dude, look at this distance. This is a huge difference. You can lurk very, very easily now. You get a kill, bam. You don't even need to run in. You don't have to risk just getting owned. And now look at the double pings. Bam, 1, all right. And 2. Now that's nice. That is very nice. That is so nice. Man, I like this. Quality of life. Updated the yellow silhouette used for Cypher's reveal on Spycam and Neural Theft. Previously, the Neural Theft would be super bright yellow, and it could be difficult to see if there's an enemy moving, or if they moved a tiny bit, if they're crouching. It could be difficult to see, and especially when there's a lot of things going on, like there's maybe particle effects from a smoke, or there's like a raise explosion, a flash that's fading off. And yeah, this is more helpful, because now you just need a tiny guide, and that way you move your crosshair and you just continue shooting. Then we have yellow silhouette now disappears if the revealed enemy becomes visible to you, to help reduce confusion of seeing 2 representations of the enemy in different places. This is very useful if you're using a lot of cameras, because yeah, as I said, sometimes it's very difficult to see where the enemy is, or they just crouch a tiny bit and you miss the head, and that can lead to some deaths. The yellow silhouette now starts dimmer and fades faster to make it more distinguishable from an actual enemy. We again see that here. Oh, does a quick blink. That's good. A quick bam blink. So you still have to pay attention, of course. You can't be sleeping on your job as a Cypher mate. But yeah, pay attention and start a bit dimmer. That way you can just go back and focus. Yeah, same thing plays into this. Cypher's placed utility is no longer destroyed by allies' AoE damage. So many times that Raze players, Sova players, and what else? I think that's it. Those 2. Yeah, those 2. They destroy my traps. And we're gonna touch a bit on people smoking my traps as well. But first this. Forget people tilting you by using nades or shock bolts where your traps are. Because maybe some players, they don't really care. Some players, they just don't know any better. Other players, they want to tilt you. They want to be annoying to you because they don't have anything better to do. Which is unfortunate. But no longer will that be the case. I won't really care now if a race player is playing in the same area as me, because I don't have to be careful with the nades, and she doesn't have to be careful either, which means that they will just continue doing the same thing that they're already doing. It will mean that there's less pressure on them and much more, much less pressure on you as well to keep your traps safe. And the enemies will still, destroy traps, but then we also have the tripwire length that makes it so that you can have more tricky traps. For example, on Ascent A site, you've seen me trap behind the corner so that enemies have to be walking really far in order to see the trap, and they have to basically wallbang the trap. But now, before this buff, if I have a teammate Omen, Brimstone, Astra, Viper that uses smoke, that means that the enemies can sneak in and they can look for the trapwire, shoot it, and bam, enter in, or just fall back. And that means, okay, now my trap is gone because a teammate just wanted to help and they didn't know that it would happen. But with the increased length, yeah, that's a bit reduced, I think, the chance of that happening, because sure, and teammates might smoke. It's very common that people don't really think about the trapwires because they probably aren't used to playing with Cyphers that much, since fewer people pick him. But yeah, much less of a chance that enemies will find the edges of the trap, and instead obviously they can still see the line and they can hear it, but it's going to be difficult to find edges because we can do a lot more trickier setups. And again, we're going to go through them all on day one, every map, everywhere, and expect some creativity where we're gonna figure out everything, and then we take it into ranked and try it out. Next up, I'm not gonna touch too much on the other things because I want this to be focused only on Cypher. Hitbox improvement for Fade's Prowler, and I'm not sure if this means that the Prowler will no longer trigger the trapwires as much, but if you have been placing tripwires really far down to the ground or really far up to almost head level, above head level, I mean, and then you get a Prowler against you that, floats like this, like a dolphin in the water, and it goes above or it goes under the trapwire, but it still triggers it. It's like invisible forces that are triggering the trapwire, and yeah, I hope that's fixed with this hitbox improvement. Hopefully it is, because that is not what you expect as the Cypher player, or just anyone. Like, you don't expect a Prowler that has it's literally air. Here, from the ground to the tail of the Prowler, there's literally nothing there visibly, but still there's a trigger, and that's hopefully fixed. So yeah, super excited for these buffs, and I can't wait. I feel like there should be still more. I feel like we should add more, like the cages or camera, like a bit more power there, because why not? Why not give him the slow back on the cages? Or I know some people want longer cage timers. I don't think that would be healthy, because that would mean a lot more camping, and that would slow down the game a lot, and would mean a lot less action for people in general and US Cypher. But more slows, for example, means that, oh wait, there's more action now. Both for the ones pushing the cage, it's more intense, but also for the Cypher, it's more rewarding now because you can get easier kills. Or if you have some form of armor shredding or something on the camera, that would be nice. Or damage, yeah, on the dart, doesn't have to be big, but like 1, 2, 3 HP or armor damage, that would be huge. So yeah, excited for this. Let me know what you think in the comments. I've seen some of you guys post in the community post I made, and once this patch comes out on EU, hop into the stream. We're gonna reveal enemies everywhere, and it's gonna be a nice day. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you like the video. If you don't like the video, leave a comment why, or even if you do like the video, leave a comment why and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.